Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today I'm going to be doing a general walk around of my new car, the GTR. For those of you who know me and have been following me, you know I used to own a Mark IV Turbo 6-speed Supra that I sold to get this bad boy. I live in Los Angeles and I flew all the way up to Seattle to get this, and I made the 1,200 mile journey home with it. For those of you who didn't see that 3-part series, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the description down below, as well as leave a banner above my head so you can watch those videos if you like. In this particular video though, I just want to do a general walk around of the car. I want to talk about some of the things I like about the car, some of the things I don't like about the car, some of the things that drew me to this car, and some of the things I plan on modding in the future. I'm going to start by talking about the exterior of the car. In my opinion, it's a good looking car. Is it better looking than the Supra? Well, that's up to personal taste. The interesting thing about this car though is all of its looks are functional. This car actually has one of the lowest drag coefficients of any other car on the market, and its drag coefficient is only 0.26. To put that in perspective, my Supra, which is much smaller, much narrower, and rounder, has a drag coefficient of 0.38. The other thing you're going to notice is the color of the car. It's black. I've got to be honest, I'm not a fan of black cars. I never have been. I've ended up with a few of them simply because I like cars that are a little bit harder to find, and I've just had to deal with it. The cool thing about this particular black though is upon closer inspection, you're going to notice that it has multicolored flake in the black paint, which is kind of nice. It kind of gives a little offset. It's not just your boring gloss black. However, I'm going to be honest, I really wanted a blue GTR, so in the future I'm either going to go ahead and paint it blue, or with wrap technologies being as they are today, I may just wrap it blue. The paint on this car actually is not that great in certain areas. The guy who did own this car before me, as well as his previous owner, I'm the third owner, he actually used this car as a daily driver, and he really didn't protect the front bumper or the paint there. When I looked at the car, I noticed there's a lot of rock chips on both the front bumper and the front of the hood. So I'm not going to feel guilty by either repainting the car a different color or wrapping it. The next thing I want to talk about is something that I've already gotten a lot of comments about online, both due to my videos and some of the pictures I've posted, and that's the wheels. For those of you who didn't notice, this is actually a black edition of the GTR. The black edition came with some things that the regular GTR did not, and one of those things was the raised lightened aluminum wheels, which these are. They're typically black with a bit of a polished lip, and you're noticing that these ones are red, and they're not a nice red. The previous owner actually plasti dipped these red, and it looks horrible. It's kind of a flat color. It's got a bit of an orange peel look to it. Fortunately, plasti dip claims is something that you can just peel off. With my previous experience with plasti dip, I know that's not true. You can peel it, but it's very hard and it doesn't come off very cleanly. Fortunately, there's a product on the market called Plasti Dissolver. I will be ordering that up. I will be taking these wheels to a pressure washer. So in the near future, hopefully these will go back to the way they should look. Speaking of things that the Black Edition has that the regular GTRs don't, is this dry carbon fiber wing. If I had picked up another GTR, I would actually planning on getting this wing anyways. So by getting the Black Edition, it was kind of nice. I didn't have to pay extra for this. The other thing I would consider getting would be the Nismo wing, which kind of sits up a little bit higher, kind of has more of that Fast and Furious type look, but then I would have to drill into the trunk. So I'm gonna keep this for quite a while. In the future, I may upgrade to the Nismo wing, but I haven't quite decided yet because I really don't like the idea of drilling into the trunk. One thing that I'll definitely be changing about the exterior of the car, and probably be doing this one sooner rather than later, is I'd like to swap out these vents for carbon fiber versions. They do come out and they are functional. It redirects air straight down onto the turbos to help try and keep them cool. Right now they are painted about the same colors you notice on the front of the grille, and it does offset it from the black a little bit. I just like the look of carbon fiber, kind of gives it a nice little accent, especially if I do change the color of the car in the future. Another thing I would like to do in carbon fiber would be these vents right here. They come off, they're only held on with 3M tape from the factory, so they're really easy to swap out. I've seen them done in carbon fiber, which I think looks nice, and I've also seen them in kind of like this fake chrome, which would also, I think, really offset it from the body, especially if the car stays black. But if I do change the car in the future, I'm thinking also just going blue. I think carbon fiber would give a nice contrast, especially if I do the vents in carbon fiber and then I have the carbon fiber rear spoiler. The last major change I would like to do to the exterior of the car would just kind of get a more aggressive front lip. There's lots of them out there, there's lots of options. I've been looking at a few of them, as well as some side skirts to match, just to kind of make the car look a little bit more aggressive. But other than that, it is a good looking exterior. There are some paint issues, as you can see, just from the car being a daily driver and having 95,000 miles. So by either having the car resprayed or having it wrapped, we'll get rid of that whole issue. The other thing that drew me to this car was the engine. It's actually pretty much dead stock. The majority of the GTRs out there have already been upgraded to what's called full bolt-on, which means they've already done the intakes, the full exhaust from the turbos back. They've done E85 conversion, and they have some sort of tuning either in the Cobb access port or the Ecotec. I like the idea of getting a car close to stock for two reasons. One, I know that the car has not been overly abused beyond its designed limits. And two, I do like to work on the car myself. It gives me a sense of ownership of the car, and by making the modifications, I get to kind of feel the upgrade of the car as it increases in power. Actually, the engine bay is also one of the things that drew me to the GTR first in general. I love the fact they actually show off their engine. They actually make the engine itself look nice. Unlike a lot of other modern cars, Supra, where they cover their engine with a whole bunch of plastic pieces, so you really can't even see the engine itself. This car, all they've done is put a little plastic piece right here to dress up the intake manifold, but the rest is all engine. When I think back to all my old cars, like my Supra, my RX-7, my first GTR, which was the R32, you actually see the engine. So I love the fact that the R35 continues that tradition of showing off the engine and making the engine itself pretty. And finally, we get to the interior. This is where you're going to see some of the last little bits that separate a Black Edition GTR from a regular GTR. What separates the Black Edition is it comes with these red highlights around the cabin that the normal GTR doesn't have. It also comes with the black headliner, which is gray in all the other GTRs. I like the fact that it's the complete black, kind of gives it that nice cockpit feel. Also, the seats that come in the Black Edition are these Recaro seats. They have a little bit more aggressive bolstering on both the thigh and the lower back to hold you in place when you're going around corners. A little detail that I noticed about this car that I don't think a lot of other people caught because they don't know was these seatbelt holders right here. My R32 GTR used to have these exact same seatbelt holders. They click down for when people are getting in and out of the back, and then they come right back up, so it's easier to reach the seatbelt. I think Nissan could have done this in numerous different ways, and they decided to do it this way to pay homage to my old R32 GTR, and I just think that's a nice little detail that I get a big kick out of. Fortunately for me with this car also, the previous owner did something I was going to do anyways, so it saved me some money, and he put carbon ceramic tint all the way around the car, which in California is really a necessity for keeping that sun off of you from getting sunburned and protecting your interior. So it's kind of nice that that was already done for me. One of the nice little touches that I also got with this car, because it's a 2013 and it is a DBA, is carbon fiber here on the stereo face as well as down here where the CD player is. On the CBAs, which ran from 09 to 11, these were just painted like the rest of the interior, but afterwards in the DBAs, which ran from 2012 on, they made this area carbon fiber. One of the things I do plan on doing to change up the interior just a little bit is right here near the shift surround. It's the same color as the surround on the stereo. I'd like to get this carbon fiber wrapped so it kind of ties together the whole center console. Also right here on the pull handles, I would also like to get those wrapped carbon fiber as well, just to kind of add some extra carbon fiber accents to the inside. Finally, in the future, I may or may not do this, all just depends on money and time, is there's a number of companies out there that make carbon fiber steering wheels that still have some leather wrap, and at some point in time, I may swap that out, as well as getting bigger paddle shifters just to kind of make it easier for them to reach when going around corners. There's also a piece of tech in this car that I am extremely excited to have, because I have not had it in almost any other car I've owned, and that is this. Cup holders. You have no idea how excited I am to have cup holders in the car for the first time in forever. My R32 GTR didn't have it, my Supra didn't have it, my RX-7 didn't have it. I can't even remember last time I owned a car that had cup holders. So I'm super excited about that. Laugh at me all you want, but that was a major sell point for me. And there it is, a walk around my new GTR. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button to let me know. If you'd like to see more GTR content in the future, please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my videos as I release them. You can now follow me on all forms of social media, which include Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and I'll leave links to those in the description down below. If you have any questions, go ahead and post in the comments section. I will respond to you. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all out on the road.